So the tactics, as ever, absolutely key. Cat and mouse, and everybody trying to outmaneuver the other.
And again, there's that ley line. There's the line that Burling is trying to get down to make sure that Jimmy doesn't try to hook him. Remember, hook would be Jimmy going around the other side. But what he wants to do is, Jimmy right now is gapped off. He's trying to get up in that position. It's worked in a couple of the starts. It hasn't worked in a couple of the starts. Let's see if he bears down and goes back at him again. Goes down and try to push him a little bit closer to the line and a little closer to that ley line.
Full speed. 25. He's going to be Can you go for?
They're talking about he's going to be close. That means he's on a narrow ley line going into that mark. So it's going to be hard for Burling to get a lot of speed coming into the mark. Jimmy wants to try to gap off if he can to be able to slingshot around him.
Keep the speed on. Racing here. 5.
Looks to be gauging it pretty well at the moment. Jimmy Spithill, Oracle Team USA. Alongside the Kiwis,
drag race,
crossing pretty much in a straight line.
Burling did a really nice job of fending that off. I thought he was going to be slower and a little tighter coming into that mark. Can USA use their wing wash? Can they use their disturbed air and get over the top and slow down New Zealand? It's just an unbelievable sight of the cyclist right there. He's inside. He's on an inside overlap, but
no problem. Now, Mark.
Is he going to be able to hold off? The overlap is now broken, so Spithill should be able to go around in front of him and lead after Mark 1.
At the first mark then, the Americans leading the way, just edging out the Kiwis, but really nothing to choose between them at this point. Huge crowds on the shore.
Okay, I'm going to call it. Keep coming.
Hundreds, thousands more even, littered across the sound in boats of their own.
Okay, happy. 3. Numbers are good. Numbers are good. 1.
Two giants of the racing world, the sailing world, going head to head.
I mean, two perfect jibes right there. I don't think there was an inch loss, gain or loss between the two of them. This is really a check-in race. This is what the sailors would call a check-in race. This is, let's see where we stand against some of the other big boys.
Left turn. Left turn.
So far, it's not letting us down.
Good. Good mode, boys. Be an eagle. Eagle. Eagle in 3.
Here's the eagle again. We're going to have to, let's wait till they get around this mark, this gate, and we'll have to ask Joey, what the heck is an eagle?
So into the gate, round the gate, not the smoothest of operations from the Americans, and the Kiwis looking to make the gain on the inside.
You're exactly right, and I'm very surprised. The Kiwis did a really nice job there. I'm surprised they didn't split for the other gate, but they chose to just simply try to have a better mark round and get to the inside like they did. And Oracle's in a tough spot right now. Now, Oracle gets protection on this boundary. So as soon as Oracle goes into within 3 boat lengths of the boundary, so actually New Zealand gets out of there. They don't even wait for that protection to happen. Good tactical decisions on both boats at this stage. But yes, that mark rounding, very well done by Emirates Team New Zealand.
Okay, weight down.
So Peter Burling just looking to dictate terms out here and avoid getting into any kind of scramble or scrap around the boundary mark. Oracle Team USA in very close proximity.
There's almost a meter in between it. So, you know, when are we going to get a close race? Joey, what's an eagle? We keep hearing about an eagle coming into that leeward gate. Tell us what an eagle is.
So I need to know if
it's a little bit proprietary, Ken, but an eagle is just a a maneuver that we use coming into the bottom marks.
We've got a light patch coming here in 5 seconds.
We haven't quite got the ley lines correct, so it's just a different move that we do using all the foils that helps us get around the bottom marks in better shape. Not really like that one you just saw there. I'm sure the boys are pretty upset with that bottom mark rounding.
Happy. 3, 2.
Keeping his clubs close to his chest, Ken. We're going to have to do better than that.
We're going to get him fired by just dragging out as much information as we possibly can. Not the best tack by the Americans right there. Let's see if these guys can do a little smoother tack. This is a full-on slugfest. There's literally 0 in it right now. 0. In 2 boats that have spent the last several years designing foils, how to trim the foil above the deck and trim the foils below the deck in their own isolated areas, and here they are within a tenth of a knot of each other. I mean, they're right next to each other. It's incredible.
How much are they racing their own race right now, Ken? How much is Peter Burling eyeballing Jimmy Spithill and vice versa?
Well, first of all, he's not going slow right now. There's a little left-hand wind shift out on the race course right now, and all of a sudden, Team New Zealand has a little better pressure and a better angle, left-hand angle. We can see this from our booth and see it on the race tracker. So it's this is all about boat speed right now, and now positioning. All of a sudden, we're going to see a pass. Emirates Team New Zealand, do they tack and try to put their wing wash on top of Oracle Team USA, or do they give them a little space and use the boundary? And they go boundary. So maybe a little more traditional multi-hull racing, using the boundaries as wide as they can. They're thinking of going up the track. Maybe they can minimize attack as they go up the track.
It's pretty light here.
They're not going slow.
Coming into a good gust.
Really tracking each other.
Good gust here, just
Maneuver
working it
for
up.
maneuver, meter for meter.
If the Kiwis can make it through this gate without having to tack one more time, then the ability to not tack on Oracle back there, back behind where we were 30-40 seconds ago, not tacking on them will save them attack and save them a huge amount of distance. So this could potentially be very well set up by the Kiwis. And gee, Burling looks really stressed there, doesn't he? I mean, he's gonna fall asleep if he gets any more relaxed.
3, 2, 1.
There will be a split at the top, though. If Burling makes the gate, Oracle will be splitting to the other side.
No respite for the
He's
grinders.
lang.
Always on point.
Going fast.
And they made that mark. They made that gate. So really nice tactical move by New Zealand to use the boundary and not actually tack on top of Oracle. Like you asked earlier, they sailed their own boat there. They used the geometry of the race course and gained considerably by doing it.
Pretty quick turn.
So the Americans
Light patch.
round gate 3. They're trailing now, and
Take it
they
down, all
crank
the
up
way
the
down,
speed
please.
once more.
Hold the sheet. We're going to do it.
You can hear the effort.
Okay. Light here. I've got no software. Good gate here. Copy. Okay.
Again, very puffy out there,
Stand by.
Joey.
There's a gust here.
Is there any sort of breeze that you can see to make this a little bit of a closer race?
3.
It is puffy, Ken. I think what you'll see is Oracle come back on a pretty nice shift now, but you know, up that beat, the Kiwis sailed incredibly well. Oracle, I think, had mostly bad tacks. The Kiwis had mostly good ones, and that's exactly the difference that you're seeing here within the maneuvers.
I would say I always love New Zealand fans, except that kid was wearing a Yankees hat, and that's not good in my book as a Red Sox fan.
He's confused.
No lower feet.
So this gap, a pretty healthy one at the moment for the Kiwis.
But just that one little thing took into a huge lead.
Yeah, coming up.
35 knots. Of course,
Good gust coming here.
the legs working as fast as the arms.
Choppy waves here. I'll go, please. Happy, no, happy.
Kiwis, we understand, call these guys cyclors. And weight distribution's key as well, isn't it, Ken. You know, that they can't be dancing around on the platform for too long. They have to whiz from one place to the next in a great hurry just to make sure that the distribution is right.
They're ripping right there right now. A little breezier out on the race course all the way around, and just screaming into this gate.
Pushing up towards the 40-knot mark, and the Kiwis are going at full throttle and barely braking at all as they round the gate, and off they go already, picking up speed again.
But Oracle has a split again. They have to do something at this stage. They're pretty far behind, so they're going to have to try to split and find something, find a little good luck charm off on the right-hand side of the race course where they're heading.
How long, Doug?
So noticeable, isn't it, with the smoothness of the manoeuvres. We think back to some of those that haven't been quite so well ordered, quite so well composed. The amount of time you lose, just one error can cost you big time.
In this foiling world, there is no doubt that those little mistakes are completely exaggerated. Now here's Oracle, got their split. I mean, look at that. They've taken 3/4 of Team New Zealand's lead out just by getting that split at the leeward gate. So that's exactly what you want to do if you're the boat behind, and all of a sudden they've taken 300 meters down to 100 meters seemingly in no time.
Jimmy Spithill bringing his team back into contention.
The other part of this, and they still have a split force. So Emirates Team New Zealand had a big decision to make right there. Do they tack, and again, that conventional mat racing strategy of actually trying to use their bad air, or do they use the gate? Oracle has now forced the split in two different ways, at the bottom gate, and here we are a quarter of the way up the beat. So this is a textbook how you try to get back into a race. You need a little bit of luck, but at the same time, textbook on how you position yourself to get back into the race.
Well, they are gaining all the time, and they've done a fabulous job. So resilient.
Stand by.
So Joey, for those of us sitting here trying to figure this whole new world out, wind shift or boat speed or a little of both? What do you think?
I honestly, Ken, I think we're seeing the difference in manoeuvres. At the bottom mark there, Oracle did a nice job of getting a split, like you were saying. So then we saw a little bit in wind shift. But the rest of this race, I think we're seeing in Team New Zealand just tacking really, really well. Hopefully Oracle will get a little bit of a left shift here and come into them a little bit closer. Well, hopefully for me. But this race seems to be tightening up a little bit.
Yeah, keep it rumbling.
So the Americans out in force on the shoreline.
Good puff here.
Still in the mix here. Couple of legs left, and they will believe, they will feel they very much have the beating of the Kiwis at this point. Still within their compass.
Again, they have the split. That is the key for the Americans at this stage. They do have a split. It's a narrow racetrack, don't get me wrong. It's not a huge split. It's not like the old days where you couldn't see somebody on the horizon. They were so far on the other side of the course. They've been struggling with their tacks during this whole race, as Joey pointed out earlier.
No lower, no lower. Copy. Big troop, boys. Big troop. Nice tack.
That was a pretty good tack right there. But I would say several of the tacks during this race for the Americans, they will not be happy with. And here they are right back in the hunt. Looks like a right shift on the far side of the course. They had a good tack. And here they are right back in the game. Wow.
Big one, big one.
Both boats are likely going to have to tack at least one more time before the gate.
Pressure's all on the inside, I think. Right on the edge of it.
Saying pressure on the inside. Can Team New Zealand make that gate mark, or are they going to have to tack one more time?
Okay, keep coming.
Oracle pressing hard to get up to their side of the gate. This is going to be a very close rounding. Overlap by Oracle means they would have the ability to get around the mark inside of Emirates Team New Zealand.
Ready to flag?
They have an overlap.
Hey! Okay, let's back again. Oh,
Very, very tight. They're heading for a collision course.
Second luff.
Collision.
Try to hook up. Good hook up here.
Protest from the Americans.
A luff and a second luff. They had the ability. They were inside. They were lured both. They had an overlap coming into it.
Stand by. All good on pitch.
No penalty.
I'm off a little, Kato.
Richard Slater, the chief umpire.
3, 2, 1.
Being awfully generous today. There's the first luff. Spittle comes back down. Team New Zealand comes down. A second luff. They decided that Emirates Team New Zealand did enough to get out of the way. Luff 1, luff 2, no contact, which is the key. No contact, so that means there can be a green flag.
Let's go.
But it is game on. It is absolutely game on at the moment.
The turn of events in a couple of these races amongst the guys who are very fast is incredible.
Got him not lane. It's 2 dives.
Coming off of their foil there.
Okay,
Unforced
let's do it
error.
here early.
Well, it may cost them because the USA picking up really good speed at the moment, comfortably faster, and beginning to stretch away to the final gate before they reach to the finish. What a turnaround in fortunes for Jimmy Spithill. Had to gamble, had to go hunting for pressure, hunting for breeze. But it has paid off in spades.
The split, the constant splits that Oracle forced by getting the split at that a long time ago at the leeward gate really gave them ability to catch a break there, to actually do the geometry correct and to get around that last gate with one fewer tack than Emirates Team New Zealand.
Big support for the Kiwis, but it is the Americans who are round the final gate in front. The New Zealanders keeping it really, really tight, looking to keep those distances down.
Interesting by both boats, not perfect by both boats. Oracle took that, USA took that very wide, and the Kiwis were a little understood, overstood, and they actually had to slow down to get around it. Both boats got around okay, but it wasn't, again, definitely some room for the coaches to go in and critique at the end of the day.
It's noisy out there.
40 knots for both boats.
The Americans have enough to hold out here. Looks like they do, but they will not rest until that finish line is crossed. Kiwis looking to gain. Brilliant finish.
118 meters between the two boats right now, which when you see it in person, it doesn't seem like that much.
Well, it's a wonderful sight.
2 passes in this race, Ali, and if this is what is yet to come, we are in for a real treat here in Great Sound in Bermuda.
Looks like the Americans will hold out here. The defenders of the America's Cup coming through in fine style in the end. Victory over the French in the opening race of the day, and victory over their old rivals, the Kiwis, in race number 5. It was a fascinating battle. 2 of the big dogs going at it, and 2 vital passes. So much intrigue and tactical savvy. It's gone the way of the Americans.
You going to do a TV interview, Jimmy? Yeah.
So hopefully we'll be able to mic up Jimmy Spithill and have a word with him very shortly, but he will be well pleased with his day's work. Goodness, what a race that was.
I mean, that's exactly what we're hoping for. We saw a couple lead changes. We saw boats gain, boats lose. We saw little unforced errors. We saw forced errors. We saw a couple flags. Yeah, I mean, this is what everybody dreamt of in racing.